Hello, it's the Cursing Seamstress back again sooner than I thought I would be. I just made a video and uploaded it a couple of days ago, but in the last video I talked to you about this particular pattern. I've been making the boys romper. I've made it several times now in sizes 3 and 4. I have already traced out the size 3 so that I don't have to continue to pin down the biggest size and then try to, cut the 3 out of the 4 size. It just makes it a lot easier. Still having the same issue with the facing for the neck and the armholes. The facing comes out just a little bit smaller than does the neckline, so I do end up having to close up that seam on the center front and maybe the back front too. It's easy to work around. It hasn't caused me any problems so far. But let me show you. I can't remember if I showed you this one or not. This one I finished up, I think it was yesterday. This is a little boy's romper. This fabric is absolutely beautiful. I bought this. It is a designer fabric. I bought it from the Pfaff dealership in a town about an hour away. It's where I bought my Pfaff machine. And the lady there orders quality fabrics. They're a little bit on the pricey side. She does have sales sometimes. I don't get there, but maybe twice a year. But I bought this from her, and you can really feel the difference. It's all cotton, and it's just so smooth. I like these little buttons that I found to go on there. And again, rather than do a hem, I used bias tape in a navy blue. And this is a size 3. And this one I have almost finished. Well, let me show you this one first. This one I can't remember if I showed you. I think I did not. This is the one I did not show you in the last video because I forgot to pick it up and bring it here. But this is a size 4, and I used orange thread to make the buttonhole, navy blue buttons. I put a side pocket on there with a crab embroidery. This crab I outlined in a navy blue rather than black, and the bias tape I used is orange. So this came out very well. Real happy with that. And the one that I made this morning, this romper only takes about 3 hours to make, and that's from laying out your fabric, pinning it down, and cutting it all the way through the very end. So this one I came close to messing up because this is a size 3, so I was cutting it from the pattern that I had traced out myself. And what I ended up doing, which was just not thinking on my part, I cut out 2 back pieces, double, because the fabric is folded over. So when I went to sew it together, I realized that I had done that. The back has a longer shoulder piece here, so I had actually sewn the sides together, and I realized it. So I was able to lay it out, excuse me, and lay the proper front piece on top of the wrong back piece that I had cut out, and cut it in the correct form. And it worked out really well. So this is just about the remainder of that kind of piece of love fabric that I've shown you before. Again, I used bias tape instead of hemming. It's just so much easier. And so that's that. And part of the reason I'm doing this video right now is because I got to the point where I did the buttonholes. I do a 27mm buttonhole usually for most things that I do, and I got out my buttons and I started looking through them to find two that would be the proper size. On something like this, you don't want a tiny, tiny button. You want a large enough button that's going to support the size of the straps. So I started looking through my hundreds of buttons. I could not find two that were appropriate in color or size for this garment. And so I just realized that my button collection had gotten kind of out of control. I don't know that I'm going to get rid of any of my buttons, but I know I need to organize them better. I hate to go out and buy buttons because I have so many, but I may end up doing that for this right here. And I just wanted to show you, and let me put my glasses on, what my buttons look like. This is one container here. I've had this box for probably 30 years with buttons in it. And this, which I got at an auction sale, it was not an auction, it was at an auction house, and they were just selling contents, I think, of a storage unit. And this was a part of a big box that I bought that was full of fabric and patterns and thread and anything you could imagine. So I got this. And then this, I think, came from the same place. This zippered thing, it's more a school pencil case. And it just is crazy that I have so many buttons. And what I did today, and I've tried to organize them before, but what I did today was I had quite a bit of metal buttons. So I took all the metal buttons that I could find and I put them in here. And I've got these little zippered packs. These little zipper things you'll find on a lot of tags when you buy clothing. They'll attach some thread and maybe a button in case you lose a button from the garment. And so I've got a lot of these, so I filled these up with pieces that match or that are similar in some way. So that's what's in here now. Again, I've tried to organize by color. These are reds and pinkish colors. These are pinky in color. Some of these I still have on the original little paper placket that they came on. These were $2. La Mode, these were $2. I think I bought these over a decade ago. Again, trying to organize. These are yellow and green. These are a bunch of black buttons that are from Navy uniforms, I think, US Navy uniforms. They're actually kind of cool, and these also came from an auction house. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, probably not. But it has US Navy and there's an anchor on it, and you're not going to be able to see it. But they're kind of cool, and so I tried to group all of those together, and that's the number that I have come up with. These are quite old. These were 15 cents and they had been marked down to 10 cents. This is by Costume Makers, made in the USA, and these are just 2-hold buttons. And I'm not the original buyer of these. Obviously these are quite old. Again, trying to organize. I've got a bunch of tiny little white buttons in here. Another way I found to organize, and it works okay if you have a few buttons, but I just took a safety pin and I put on buttons that are alike. These buttons are not all alike, but they're all very similar in color and size. These buttons are all alike. I also used a safety pin to stick these on there. And again, I've got all of these little pouches. Here's a bunch of yellow buttons. I did buy these probably over a decade ago. And I mean, you can just see there's just tons of stuff in here that I need to organize better. And let's see. Let me show you what's in this other box. There's just 3 little containers. But this one, I don't know. These I bought fairly recently, I think. These are little jack-o'-lanterns. I need to find a project to use for those. Here's some more metal buttons, so these need to go in that Ziploc pouch. There's a bunch of just big buttons that I stuck together. And some more buttons that are, I've got some other stuff mixed in there, a bunch of brown mottled buttons in there. And so, and I thought that was all my buttons until I remembered that also at that auction house there were buttons that were in a Ziploc container, and these buttons are really kind of cute. These are really decorative kinds of buttons. I don't think I've used any of these, but look at these. These are skis, ice skates rather. They're called novelties. These are heart buttons. These are bears. More bears. I think the whole bear country theme was kind of popular in the 80s. Some rabbits, country looking rabbits. And then just some big black buttons. These are cute. These are, the label on this says Dress It Up Christmas Presents Country Mittens, and that's what they are. They are a pack of little country mittens. And there's a bunch more in here. Here's some sun hats. There's a pack that I'm going to break open because I may be able to find 2 matching buttons that are the right size for this romper that I made. But these are, they're made by Darico, D-A-R-I-C-O Buttons More, Fashion, Craft, and Home Decor Accessories. And this is called the Ladybug Assortment. So I'm going to open up that and take a look. Here are some kittens. And some really nice pearlescent buttons here. I think these all match. And there's a few more in there. So I am just overloaded with buttons. If you have any ideas, or if you want to share how you sort your buttons, let me know. I think I'm too lazy to organize them totally by exact size. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I like the color and maybe the general size to kind of group them together that way. But I really probably do have too many, and I could go through and get rid of the ones that I don't have matches for and I can't foresee myself using. So I'm certainly open to suggestions. Again, I highly recommend the pattern that I did the video on before. Again, it's McCall's, and it's an easy pattern. It's for woven fabrics, and it's McCall's M6304. If you're in the market for something that's easy and really, really cute, I highly recommend this pattern. I think you'll enjoy it. Very quick to turn out. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.